social class. High class, low class. Look the high class. Lambs and alpacas, no? Wild, domestic. No son domestic.
It's like you're chasing it.
El que cuida.
Nosotros vamos a obtener hasta más de 24 tonalidades de color rojo. Luego pasamos al tejido, como pueden ver, es reversible, hecho a mano, no a máquina. A veces mucho depende el precio de la calidad de la
It's considered a living in the town, no? By the National Geographic.
La unión queda perfecta, no queda nudos. Then we pass the dyeing process.
Ahí tenemos chicha de cobra, aprovechadas, cerveza de maíz.
All civilizations, they were using the salt like I'm going to show you now. This friends, a family from here. Esa es la sambosa. This is the view in dry season. Right, right? My friends, the owners still now many families from here they are using the salt from the same place from here. Many communities they are using the salt to preserve meat in the Andes. $45. For that reason we did pay very sorry for you. So with that food down there, so there's 200
Yep.
32 grados.
side to the wells by that channels. Can you see water channels around the wells? Yes?
C'est un peu grave, en fait, c'est très beige. Ça fait un peu des nuances de couleur de la peau.
Pero que le diga qué cosas no tiene, qué ingredientes. Comprar una casa por $10,000. In Cusco now it's very expensive. This place is very big, my friend. Gracias. After colonial time by that.
This black one. Come closer,
The Inca cemetery, that now. Closer to me, I'm going to show you this. Les voy a mostrar esto.